welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, the long season. Alright, our pilot here, Aldous Kerman, has spent the better part of 8 days orbiting the moon. And if we have a look here... Okay, I had that thing displaying and it's not now. But he's located several deposits of kethane and of ore that could be refined from carbonite and so on. And he's got basically one major task left. He's got well, two actually. He's got to do a science from space around the moon, so he can do that one right there. And that takes care of that. The next one he has to do is plant a flag, and that's going to mean landing. Over here on the daylight side looks like a good idea, so I'm thinking just orbit around. And let's go ahead and shut these detectors off. I don't believe they're needed anymore. Alright, and just time warp him around so that he's coming in on the daylight side over here. And we'll see if we can put him down close to one of these locations. But the main thing is going to be to just land safely, plant his flag, and take what science readings he can and get back off of there. And with that in mind, put a maneuver node here at apoapsis. And let's see. Twist the orbit around like so. Hopefully that should put it close to going directly over that site. Yeah. Okay. 140 meters per second burn for that. Let's line up with a maneuver node. And time warp over to it. Alright, let's commence to burning. And watch how this thing twists around. Of course, the moon has rotated some since that point, so we'll probably have to do another correction. We'll worry about that in a bit. In fact, I'll just burn past what was set. Whoa, forgot. Alright. Kill rotation. Add a maneuver at apoapsis, and we'll try that again. Let's do this. And then for the descent, I'm going to opt for a much more, let's be straight vertical about this sort of option. Alright, that looks like it's going to at least be close to the targeted location for these things right here. Minute and 30-second burn. I will actually set an alarm for this one. And let's see, minute and 30, that's going to be about 45 seconds, so we'll give it a 0 minute 50-second margin. All right. Okay, and this is the point where I would normally turn off Smartass and switch to SAS, but Since our pilot is not a pilot, we're not allowed to do that without having an SAS module, which we don't have yet. So kill rotation is going to have to be the best we can do. Throttling back. Cut. Kill the maneuver node. I don't know that that's going to be very close at all, but it should be something. Yeah, these things don't show up as a target. And apparently the only place they show up in this view at all is on the nav ball, which isn't very useful because that's only going to happen when you're like right on top of it. Use a little bit of velocity controls to get a little bit of tilt in there to kill the last of the surface horizontal speed. Put that retrograde marker in the center of the nav ball. I really wish this thing had thrusters. But it doesn't. That must be the first landing site over there, 78 kilometers out. .1 kilometers from the surface. Descending at 14.5 meters per second, slowing gradually. Still no sign of a shadow. I thought I saw one, but it turned out to be a dirt speck on my monitor. But our horizontal speed is low enough, I don't think it's going to matter too much about shadows. .200 meters. .150. Keeping a descent rate around 3 to 3 meters per second or so. Looks like we're reasonably level kind of terrain. .50 meters to go. Engine cutoff. We're down. A nice gentle landing. A little bit of a slope, but not bad. Okay. Lights off. We don't need them. Okay. All right, Aldous. Get out there and let's plant that flag. All right. We'll plant the flag, get our contract taken care of. All Let's get rid of the all caps. Contract flag 1. Okay. Let's grab a surface sample while we're there. And good old EVA report. Okay. Now let's see if we can get him back in the capsule without knocking the ship over. Ah! Goes over the top and ragdolls. You so-and-so. Alright, let's try this again. This time without overdoing it. Alright, get back aboard. While we're here, we'll grab a temperature reading, and I guess that's the only other instrument there besides from the goo, which we'll grab that for a little bit of science, and we'll grab this other goo, and of course the material bay. All right. Now, looking at this from the map view, navigation set. All right, what are we expected from that location? And this is HTZC and so on. Visual surveys, an EVA report on the surface sample on the surface, another surface sample on the surface. Should be basically north by a little bit east, and it doesn't look to be like too hideously far. This is EVA report and surface samples. We could at least walk over there and get one. At least that's the going thought. All right. I don't know this is a great idea, but we're going to give it a try. Aldous Kerman will EVA. And splatter his face all over the place. When he comes to a stop, or while he's coming to a stop, all right, I can't distinguish our pilot from anything else. All right, we'll figure it like this. His spacesuit has got 6 hours of life support. So we're going to let him travel up to 3 hours. The problem is I don't know what direction I'm facing. You know, am I moving north or what? There is no directional indication here at all. Well, let's wait a minute. How about if I switch back to the Space Center and then go to the tracking station and switch back again, because when when it first puts you down there, it's facing you north. I seem to recall that. So we'll have a look here and see. Okay. Cannot warp faster than 1x while moving over terrain. Well, then there's physics time warp. All right. Keeping an eye on his suit life support, he's going to take a shot at seeing if, just to see if he can find this area, assuming that he was moving north when it first loaded him. This is probably about the right direction. The problem is you don't have any navigational aids when he's in a suit instead of a ship. Except, of course, the map. And I think he's sort of kind of heading in the right direction. At least we're going to hope so. So it's actually been a while since the last clip. And in the meantime, I have found a solution to wondering just exactly how I'm supposed to know if I'm actually heading in the right direction to get to one of these markers. And that is a really cool mod called nav-hud. If I turn that on, you see right here there's a prograde marker. And over here there's a retrograde, and there's a normal, and there's an anti-normal. If I look down, there's radial, and all the way up would be anti-radial, and so on. It's just like everything on the nav ball is projected on a heads-up display. And this right here, this is the marker for the place that I was heading. And I'm, according to this right here, my current heading is 50 degrees. But if I turn to this and walk towards it, you see that my actual heading that I need is a lot closer to 75 degrees. And so, given that, I can now go ahead, let's activate the suit pack, the EVA pack, lift up, head forward, and now I can fly over in the direction of where that thing is and actually get there. And from what I've read, once I get close enough to this marker here, I'll get a bit of text on the screen showing me that I am in fact approaching the area that I need to be at in order to fulfill that bit of contract. So I'm going to fly over there and get that sample. And this bit of information here, knowing that I'm going 22 meters per second, it shows me my exact heading, so I know what direction I'm moving. I don't have to guess that this is a little bit northeast or a little bit north of east. I can actually see that it is that. This nav-hud, I think, is going to become one of those mods that I don't want to play KSP without, because it just looks to me to be entirely too handy. I think I should start slowing down though. 40 meters per second seems to be a little fast. He hits the ground at that speed, he's going to face slide for quite a while. Alright, I should be getting close. Yes, I just entered sector HT-ZC beta. So I can now slow down and begin descending. Go ahead and touch down. Got a nice don't poof the Kerbal speed. Alright, now we can turn the HUD off. Take a surface sample. And we'll keep that. Alright, and this was HT-ZC beta. Alright, we'll go ahead and plant a flag here too. Okay, it's not the most witty flag bacon and flag black in the world, but it's informative. Okay, let's grab an EVA report while we're here. And now, there's our ship over there, 4.4 kilometers. Heading back. All right. About an hour and 15 minutes or so after leaving the ship, Aldous Kerman is returning with his sample and EVA report. And now, time to get back on board and see about the business of getting home. And for that, there is another mod I want to show off here. And this one is called Time Control. This does something cool. Time scale. Let's see. Oh, I'm still on time warp. Okay. All right. Time scale 1/6 X. So, activate the RCS jets. And he's doing his thing, but it's all happening in slow motion. Which means I won't have such a hard time controlling him that way. Alright. Up a little higher. Let's move in over here. Get up to the capsule and get aboard. Grab hold and board. Apparently, surface sample and EVA report are also from the Highlands, so they're duplicates, so we can, I guess we have to dump them. Alright, now we put timescale back to 1x and turn that off. And now it's time to get ready to leave. So, let's get up our essential information here. And surface, we'll have a heading of 90, start off with a pitch of 80 degrees, and let's go. Alright, watch the apoapsis. We want about 20 kilometers. Alright, let's pitch to 45. Execute. One thing occurs to me, all the solar panels are on these external tanks, so even though they're empty, I'm going to hang on to them for a while. Because the last thing I need is to be finding myself out of electric charge, even though the ship has got lots of it.